Dangote Refinery faces bleak future. Management unsure of operations kickoff. Wow. So I thought the operation had started since Buhari went there to commission that refinery before he left office or so. I thought everything is over and the refinery is started. So why is it facing a bleak future? This must be something else. Okay. Um, let's go straight into the details of the story. Doubt has reportedly set in for the management of the Dangote refinery. This is due to uncertainties over the operational kickoff of the most anticipated refinery in Africa, Ikeja reports. Ikeja bed. Okay, not really Ikeja bed. The refinery, which was projected to begin operations in July 2023, has so far not produced one drop of refined petroleum product for the market. Sources within the Dangote refinery who wish to remain anonymous said that the management was unsure of when petrol refining would begin at the Ibejuleki facility. It should be recalled that the launch of that Dangote refinery last year generated a lot of frenzy and excitement. Captains of industries and celebrities from across sectors, including the political class, gathered to witness a grand occasion heralding the launch of a new dawn in Nigeria's history in May 2023. It was another feather on the cap of Nigerian billionaire, industrialist, and Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote. Partly sponsored by Afreximbank, the project aimed at putting Nigeria on the map as the biggest oil refining country in Africa, with a historic 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery capacity. Now, while delivering his speech at the official commissioning of the refinery by former President Muhammadu Buhari in May, Dangote said, "Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, our first product will be in the market before the end of July or beginning of August this year." Okay. However, it's been 4 months since the refinery official launch, and even though the management earlier assured commencement of crude oil refining in July of 2023, as of the time of publishing this news, not even a drop of crude oil has been processed for the market by the refinery. This is according to a report by The Punch. The refinery is not meant to produce crude oil. It's meant to process crude oil to give petrol. No, this person writing knows that it's not somebody that is knowledgeable about how a refinery system operates. The 650,000 barrels per day that Dangote refinery promised is nowhere to be found. He didn't promise 650,000 barrels per day. He promised it's a capacity that refines about 650,000 barrels per day. So the petrol or the petroleum product that he promised from the refinery has not come out yet, meaning they've not started operations of refining refining operations at all. So in fact, sources are now saying is faced with possible bleak future. This was even as Garibaldin, spokesperson for the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, said in June that the NNPC will cut down its fuel import program in August once the Dangote refinery begins to push out refined petroleum products latest August. Exactly. So the sad but pitiable development calls to heart a video filmed and shared on the internet by artisan workers of the refinery who were heard loudly saying that the refinery was nowhere near completion. They added that major internal works were yet to be completed at the time. The video, which went viral immediately, created doubt in the heart of many who were hopeful for July or August operations kickoff of the refinery project, which had been considered as the messiah of Nigeria's oil sector at the time. Not kickoff of the project, kickoff of production. Kickoff of production. As of the time of publishing this report, the media managers of Dangote Group have declined to speak on the matter. For now, the management has not come out with any official date, the source within the refinery said. Meanwhile, in a recent development, Festus Sifu, president of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, advised the federal government to focus on completing the Port Harcourt refinery rather than focusing on Dangote refinery. Providing a reason for his conviction, Mr. Sifu said, "We should rather focus on making other refineries work because it will cut down on freight rates from importation and would reduce prices. Aliko Dangote is a private businessman and can decide tomorrow that he will not refine again, although the government has a 20 capacity stake in the refinery. We should rather push for our own refineries and ask the government the questions such as when is the Port Harcourt refinery going to start refining petrol?" On the other hand, the National Controller Operations, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Mike Osatui, also said there was no cause for alarm as far as petrol supply was concerned, as the NNPCL was still reporting. Can you imagine? So according to him, management of the Dangote refinery may have delayed production due to some internal challenges. He, however, also advised the federal government to ensure that our local refineries come on stream rather than depend on the Dangote refinery. Hey, the fact remains that this Dangote refinery is a private business. So it was actually absurd for the whole government to rely on it, even though it's a good development. But I know that the money Dangote is spending there is not just his money. All these politicians have their money inside. Again, only God knows running a refinery is not a joke. That is the truth. It's one of the most complex operations or processes in the world. Running a refinery is not a joke. So how many people have you trained to run the refinery? Okay. What are the facilities about safety? I hope you are not going to run it after a week or two. You will start seeing fire and leaks everywhere. Okay. So I think they should take time and do a good job before they start operation, because the worst that can happen is you start operation and the next thing is kaboom because of either failure of one part or the other, or failure of individual humans who are probably not very competent to start up the plant. So running the refinery operation is not a joke. People should be brought in to support in the operation, and a lot need to be done before they can start. So if they're not starting according to the date they promised, maybe they have a reason for that. But then, just like the National Pengassan chairman is telling the federal government, you don't have to depend on that alone. Most countries have more than 1 to 3 refineries to be able to supply the amount of product that is needed for the populace. So if we have our own refineries running, and Dangote has its own refinery running, that will provide a competitive market for products, and then that will also reduce importation as well. So there's nothing wrong if, as Dangote is trying to start its own refinery, Nigeria is also, on the other hand, starting up our own nationally owned refineries, and then see how this can put together to alleviate the suffering of the people with respect to petrol price in the market. Okay, with respect to petrol price in the market, something has to be done. So that is exactly what is coming from this article, that Dangote Refinery is far from being started because they have some internal challenges that they are yet that are still resolving. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.